Nigerian languages and culture are fast losing their status under English dominance in domains such as the home. Listen to the chairman talking about parents who speak English to their children at home. In the school, the nursery, semi kind of schools where the medium of instruction is English. And even in social events, introduction and engagement, the Alaga Guru and Alaga Joko, English has seeped into the proceedings. So, to that extent, we see that our languages are receding under the dominance of the English language. Now, we have several ills in the country, and we tend to trace them to problems of development, finance, ethnicity, corruption, etc. But if we look at it deeply, some of our ills can be traced to the way we've abandoned our languages and culture, and some of this will become clear in the course of this presentation. It is very usual, quite common, for people to rationalize and say, well, we cannot use our languages fully because we have so many languages, well over 500 in the country, and we need to have a common language. And the common language will be a language like English. As I say all the time, each time we choose English, we're excluding a large number of our population, maybe 70% or more. And also, English comes with its own baggage of culture. So, also we say, well, if we try to use our languages, there will be the problem of terminology. How do we relate to certain terms in chemistry, in physics? And also we say, well, we also need to modernize. In order to modernize as quickly as possible, we need a language which already has a lot of knowledge encoded in it in form of books and other things. And finally, we talk of globalization. The world is shrinking, and we cannot afford to be different from other countries. Now, all these are just rationalizations. When we look at small countries like Sweden, Norway, Denmark, that use their languages fully, we see that there is no magic about it. You can read up to university level in these countries in their languages, but in all these countries, English is taught as a foreign language, and they are very, very competent in English. But in terms of education, they use their own language. I mentioned in this thing that I have attended quite a number of these authors forums and fora, and each time our chairman here would always make the same point about the need to continue using our languages, and the example of his grandchild who learns everything in Japanese and then later got on to English and did very well in it. So it's not magic. It is something that happens. It can happen if we have the will to do it. Next slide, please. Now, language has a pivotal role in education, and as we all know, knowledge is transmitted through language. I like to look at language as a medium of instruction. What it was in the past what it is now and what is possible, what could be a possible future. In the past, exposure to mother tongue medium for 3 to 4 years or more was normal. When I started primary education in Infant 1, there was not a word of English. Infant 1, Infant 2, Infant 2. It was when we get to Standard 1 that they started teaching us English. And the English they taught us was not in fact good English, if I can say so. Because the teacher will stand behind someone's back, take a whip. I see an ant in a tin. You have to do it like that. Every word is stressed. Now, it was much later that I got to know that that's not the way English has to be taught. But we were taught in Yoruba throughout until we got to Standard 3, when English became a medium of instruction. And in northern Nigeria, where they had middle schools, Hausa, in fact, remained the language of instruction for up to four years. So that's the difference there. Now, it's important that there should be a thorough grounding in the mother tongue before children go on to receive instruction in English. In our discipline, we refer to this as an early exit. It's an early exit that you learn your language only so you can throw it away and go on to use English. It should be something additional. You gain that and you also gain what you have in English. Now, because in many cases children are introduced to English before a proper understanding of concepts taught in other subjects, it's important that they should first of all learn the concepts in their mother tongue before going on to learn the concept in English. I'm going to give examples later of how this can be done. Next slide, please. Now, still talking about the past. One of the arguments that we do not have enough terminology for scientific concepts. Now, in the 1930s and upwards, we had the CMS Iwekika readers. And these readers already contained topics in nature study, in hygiene, in geography, in agriculture. One that I remember quite clearly in my Infant 2 is a description of an elephant. Meaning the legs of the elephant were like pillars. So there were accurate terminology for handling these things in those readers. Also in arithmetic, we had the famous Maduga's efficiency arithmetic, which had been translated into Yoruba for teaching arithmetic processes and number operations. So when you don't know what is addition, what is subtraction, what's multiplication, the words are already there. So now let me move on to the present. Next slide, please. Now, today, the gains of the past have been eroded. Mother tongue education is only on paper, as private nursery and primary schools teach in English, and some linguistically mixed urban schools also do the same. Hence, many of the products of primary education are neither competent in English nor in their mother tongue.